offered by the DualSense controller, such as adaptive triggers and their haptic feedback, those controllers will be required for the newer titles which enable those features. But even third-party stuff that was certified to be used on the PS4, so Control Laser and others, they will also likely work. Sony's not saying for sure, but they'll likely work in the same fashion as well on the PS4 titles. And then the other piece is the PSVR headset. So a lot of people forget PlayStation had VR. I don't think it was the most popular thing in the world, but it was actually pretty kind of cool. I played around with it every so often. The PSVR headset, including the camera, the move wands, and the gun-shaped aim controller, are going to work with the PS5. The camera is going to require an adapter, but Sony promises it will be available free of charge. When do you ever get anything free of charge? What do you do? You send an email? How do you get it free of charge? I'm really curious about this. They didn't give the full details. They're going to be announced later. But if you have a PSVR, you better be hitting up Sony because they're about to hit you with the free of charge adapter. Sony never gave me anything for free, so I say go for it. Apple is now the world's most valuable publicly traded company. It's now larger than Saudi Arabia's state-owned oil company, which is Aramco. And they came up on a recent episode because we were talking about trillions. Talking about big companies. We started in the billions, we went to the trillions. They're one of those trillion-type companies. Apple as well. And depending on what's going on in the stock market on any given day, you're going to maybe flip-flop on the world's most valuable company. But as you see, Apple, well, they're doing all right, Will. You know what they're selling? They're selling phones, of course. But actually, there's some of the surprise sales here that have led to investor excitement in the midst of a global pandemic have to do with iPads and Macs. Imagine that. As the people, they stay at home, they're trapped at home, they got to do the work at home, school at home. And so what do? They say it's time for a new laptop or it's time for an iPad.
Not the Mac Pro wheels.
They probably maybe if they broke that out in the analyst call, we would actually find out they probably put the wheels under the Mac heading and really all of the big numbers are just the wheels. So we got to read into it a little further to figure that out. And then you just put that on the shelf, create your own little museum over there. The Mac Pro, the world famous Mac Pro wheels. So anyway, they became, it was actually Friday that they became the world's most valuable when the stock was at $425, a market valuation of $1.84 trillion for Apple. The number's higher now, whatever it was, 425, right? It was 436 US. So they just extended that lead even further. Aramco sitting at 1.76 trillion in as far as the market valuation is concerned. Apple's total revenue for Q3 hit 59.7 billion. That was up 11% from last year. Up at a time like this. Strong Mac and iPad sales were a highlight, and the company probably saw increased demand. People are sitting around at home, man. They're chilling. Other companies, by the way, other tech companies are also crushing it, as you're well aware, including Amazon, Facebook. Amazon doubled its profit during the pandemic. And Facebook's daily user increase is up 12%. So what have we learned? Tech companies don't care about lockdowns. The big tech companies actually might do better when you're sitting on your butt. Imagine that. Conspiracy theory. Who's behind this thing after all? I'm not saying that. I'm just joking. I'm just having a time. Relax. Netflix is letting people watch things faster or slower with the new playback speed controls. I didn't know this, but this feature didn't exist on Netflix. To control the speed of playback like it does on YouTube. You know, you can watch YouTube video. Some people watch Hulu later. I'll just let you know right now. At 2 times the speed.
Like a constant rate.
Yeah, a constant 2x. Or 1.5, I think, is more common. People want to condense the information. You may listen to a podcast at 1.5.
Yeah, 1.25 on Audible.
1.25 for ebooks, or not ebooks, audiobooks. So, a little suggestion for you, if you're short on time, you want to watch the full later episode because these can get a little bit lengthy when there's a lot going on in the world that we have to cover, Will. There's a job to be done, and if they get lengthy, you can condense it down by upping the playback speed, whatever you find suitable. 1.25, whatever it might be. You can do that on YouTube, but you couldn't do that on Netflix up until now. And I didn't know that. I thought, yeah, okay, that's just a regular feature. And there's a good reason that you couldn't do it on Netflix. Filmmakers don't like it, Will.
Yeah.
Filmmaker doesn't want you to, oh yeah, I got through that movie twice as fast. And you got Christopher Nolan sitting there like, how dare you? You know the amount of time that I spent on this thing? I mean, I sat there and I spun the camera and I did 57 takes on that.
Oh yeah.
And you want to zoom through it? You want to speed through it?
Yep.
So I understand that it could be considered offensive, but man, it's 2020. People, they love control. They want control. And so that's in there. And I should also mention, by the way, the slowing down, not just the speeding up. A lot of content on Netflix, you have the captions. As you're aware, you have the captions on there, and for hearing impaired people, they can rely on those captions, and the captions can move faster depending on the scene than you might be able to read it. So being able to slow it down is actually a big feature that they've been asking for a really long time. So slowing down is another thing that's on there. However, I think a lot of people are going to binge now that extra speed. But you can see some examples people have said. Backlash from Hollywood's creative community, including actor Aaron Paul and director Brad Bird. They spoke out against Netflix's decision to introduce these playback controls. Director Judd Apatow tweeted in October, distributors don't get to change the way the content is presented. One thing that Netflix did to appease these critics is they made it so that you have to set the playback speed every time you launch a new piece of content. So it doesn't sit at your like it doesn't become your default if you go 1.5 or whatever.
How long?
It doesn't take you long, but the content creators were concerned you would just go almost like on a system level, set it to 1.25 and never watch anything at the right speed. But it's just hard these days to really put up a fight against how consumers want to consume things. It's so hard. This article cites Christopher Nolan, who's been waiting to put out this Tenet movie. It has to be in a movie theater. He does not want this digital release, and who knows when it'll happen. So I respect the purists in the game that will want to control certain aspects of your experience, because ultimately it does play out well. Even for myself, I don't get to the movie theater even pre-COVID, but when I would, and I'd have the experience, I'd go, that was great. When I would do it, I would appreciate all the little nuance and the better sound and everything else. So I get where they're coming from, but it's just increasingly difficult to control people's experiences. You know how many people are on Netflix and they're on their phone too right now? They're not even watching your thing, even though you think they are. Maybe if you gave them 1.25, they'd put their phone down. I don't know. Probably not. Microsoft confirms talks to buy TikTok in the U.S., and they aim to finish a deal by September 15th. September 15th, a key deal, because Trump actually put a guideline on there. He said it's got to be done in the next 45 days, I believe. Microsoft's statement on Sunday marked the company's first confirmation of talks it has held to acquire the popular social media app. Microsoft says we're the best for it because we're going to tighten everything. We're going to batten down the hatches on that data.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it right here in the United States of America. Right? I don't know where their servers are.
Russia, America.
Somewhere in Washington, just locked down there in a vault. American TikTok data, baby. You know, whatever it is that was being extracted can stay local. Trump doesn't actually sound that excited about it.